Fala, meu povo, tudo bem com vocês? E os gringos agora estão debatendo qual a importância do Campeonato Brasileiro, do Brasileirão, nas competições igual a competição que foi a Copa do Mundo de Clubes. Porque todos os clubes brasileiros foram muito bem na competição, tá? E o último que caiu foi o Fluminense nas semifinais pro Chelsea. Se liga aí como que os gringos estão avaliando o Brasileirão.
Not at the level maybe that we saw earlier in the tournament, but still a successful tournament for the Brazilian side and for Fluminense as they make it to the semifinals. What was your take on the match?
Yeah, absolutely. We had a quick moment off air where I said that I thought Fluminense's worst performance coincided with one of Chelsea's better performances, if not their best. And of course, they were helped from two fantastic individual performances from the two Pedros, right? Joao and Neto. And I thought they were fantastic. Big fans of both. And it's, of course, bittersweet for Fluminense because it's their own youth product that has buried them with two world-class finishes. And so it's difficult for them to swallow this pill. I also thought they were denied a very clear penalty. I'm sure people might interpret that differently, but I thought it was a clear penalty. I thought we lacked John Arias' influence. I think he was just spent. He was so tired from having to deal with carrying this team on his back offensively for the entirety of the tournament, and it just became a little bit too much for him. And Chelsea wasn't in total control, but they were more clinical in front of goal, and despite Fluminense fighting until the final whistle, they just couldn't get over that final hurdle. But we're proud of them anyway. They came out to play, and they've made us all proud with their performances.
All right, you're very proud, and I love to hear that because the supporters have really stood out to me more than anything else. But how important is it for South American football to see performances from the South American teams at this competition, not only on the pitch, but off the pitch, to see that togetherness, that spirit, sort of that colourful entertainment off the field, and then also seeing and recognising that Fluminense getting so far into this competition, the South American teams are there to compete, and they played well.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. That's absolutely correct. I mean, one of the things I love about this country, other than the fact that they love football, is that they love all of football. I mean, you saw the way that they were supporting their own teams, the chanting, the singing, the colors. They remind me very much of African football fans, of course, you know, in that way, the diversity of the way that this football festival is celebrated. But one of the things I love about Brazilians, and I think it should be noted, especially in contrast to some of the rhetoric that we hear coming out of Europe, is that Brazilians love all of football. So Brazilians haven't just been celebrating and haven't just been tuned in to the football when Brazilian teams play, which of course they have, but they have spoken very highly of watching other teams play. They spoke very highly of watching the Japanese fans when they were doing their chant in the stands in unison, which was fantastic to see. They spoke a lot about how Sundowns was extremely appealing with their football and how they loved the approach and the way that they played and kept the ball. So it's just been incredible to see Brazilian fans not only celebrate their own football, but in a way infect us all with this love and this passion for the game. And it really ignited the tournament. And I hope that CBF can manage to bring this tournament here in 4 years, because I don't think it will be comparable to any other place in the world.
Love it.
It'll be a lot more difficult for European sides to find success if that tournament is played in Brazil. We talk about heat in the United States. Playing that game in Brazil would be a very difficult
Germany did okay in 2014, just saying.
Well, it would be winter, so they would be let off the hook just a little bit, depending on where they are.
That is fair. That is fair. When we talk about Fluminense, it was funny because I was almost more impressed throughout the tournament with the Flamengo, with Palmeiras, but it seemed like Fluminense was really the side that was able to defend and play professionally and play to a point where making it very difficult to score against was massive for their success. How will this tournament and having the success in this tournament help Fluminense in the domestic league to continue to move forward and become one of the top teams in South America, if not one of the top teams in the world?
Well, to be very frank, I'm not sure how much it does for them in the domestic sense, because all the teams here, all the fans here, we are aware of Fluminense's capacity. We are aware of the defiance of this man there that you have on the screen. So we know what they're capable of. And we know, of course, because they went very far, all the way to a victory in the Libertadores. So we know what they're capable of. But I think on a global scale, it demonstrates that Brazil not only has technical talent, which we've always been aware of, but there's a physical prowess, fitness, strength, tactical discipline, and sophistication that exists down here. And they were able to use all of that to compete against teams with substantially bigger budgets. Chelsea, at the end of the day, has a squad that they've just invested in with over $1 billion in cash. So, it's difficult to compete against these teams, but they've demonstrated that they can do it. And certainly, if not in Brazil, if not in the EPL, the Serie A, and the Bundesliga, and teams from all the leagues that they will face, if anything, they've shown that there's nothing to fear against giants, and that Goliath is not as large and as imposing and as controlling and dominating as he might seem. And so that's been a breath of fresh air.
What did you make of João Pedro's performance today? Obviously, getting that first goal for Chelsea was always going to be important, being the match winner, scoring in the fashion that he did do. I love the story you point out that he's an academy product against the opponent that he scored that goal against, but he stood out incredibly in this game. So for him individually, how important has it been for him to get off to such a good start?
That's going to be beautiful for him. Isn't it? It's not just that he scored, it's the quality of the goals. And frankly, he's a player that I've been a big fan of since his time in Fluminense. In fact, I was quite surprised to see at some point in time that at Brighton, he was a 9, because I always felt that when he was playing down here in Fluminense, he was more, what do they coin these days, a 9.5, I think is the statement, where he's a creator / striker. I think he's moved a little bit further forward, but I think the ruthlessness that he showed in front of goal against his boyhood club. Yes, he didn't celebrate as the images demonstrate there, but to be able to go out, it's your first game against your boyhood club, and you score goals of that nature. I think that kind of cold-blooded finishing is precisely what Chelsea will want to have in their squad for next season, and I think it'll be a huge boost for him individually, but also for the club, and probably for the entirety of the Premier League, to see a player like that at a big club, popular club, playing that kind of football.
Yeah, well said. Let's turn our attention to the game that's taking place tomorrow. Obviously, Paris Saint-Germain taking on Real Madrid. There will be a number of Brazilian players, I'm sure, in the starting lineup. I've got a question for you. Vinicius Jr. under a bit of pressure at Real Madrid. There's a youngster, Gonzalo Garcia, who's scoring goals, and there's a certain Kylian Mbappe who's on the outside looking in right now. It seems that Vinny's getting the nod to start these games, but is his place in the starting 11 potentially in jeopardy here?
I wonder very much if any player at Real Madrid is not in jeopardy. I think Xabi is probably going to experiment quite a little bit. I think he's giving some players an opportunity to demonstrate what they can do in his new system, which I definitely see the differences, the changes already personally from Carlo Ancelotti's Real Madrid to Xabi Alonso's. So I'm not sure. I've always felt like, not necessarily because of his football, but maybe because of some extracurriculars and off the pitch issues, maybe attitudinal issues, that Vinicius Jr.'s position at Real Madrid has always been somewhat precarious. They've defended him, they've supported him, and I've done the same. I think he's a wonderful player and in many ways an incredible person, an influential figure in Brazilian and world football. But yeah, I think he, like Endrick, need to step their game up. There's a lot of talent at Real Madrid, and there's a lot of guys who are hungry to demonstrate their worth in this new era. And I think he should certainly tap into the same.
Love it.
Never a dull moment with Real Madrid and their Brazilian players. And for Brazilian players and in this tournament, it has been fantastic. And it's always fantastic to talk to our guy, Mbizo Zamana. Thank you for joining us.
Great stuff. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Pessoal, vocês viram aí eles elogiando o futebol brasileiro, o Campeonato Brasileiro. É assim, ó. Tudo pode melhorar para os times brasileiros, tá? Uma ótima competição, 4 clubes brasileiros disputando e classificados. O Flamengo perdeu para o Bayern de Munique, o Palmeiras eliminou o Botafogo, depois o Palmeiras foi eliminado pelo Chelsea e hoje o Fluminense foi eliminado pelo Chelsea, né? Então, assim, a gente tem grandes times aqui no Brasil, vários grandes times também que nem para a Copa do Mundo de clubes foram. Então, assim, o futebol brasileiro tem tudo para valorizar a chance de a gente montar uma liga de verdade, fazer a diferença. Sem estar amarrado, sem estar preso, sem estar nem próximo da CBF. Uma liga própria, com calendário próprio, e aí a gente podendo modificar o futebol brasileiro. Eu acho que deve ser essa pegada que a gente tem que movimentar aí e cobrar os dirigentes. Mas foi uma ótima competição. Parabéns pro Flamengo, pro Botafogo, pro Palmeiras e também pro Fluminense. Fizeram uma ótima competição e agora, a partir do final de semana, Campeonato Brasileiro começa tudo de novo e a gente sabe que os clubes estão todos enrolados ali em várias competições e vamos ver quem leva o Brasileirão de 2025. Galera, peço para você se inscrever no nosso canal, deixar o like, peço também que você compartilhe esse vídeo. Muito obrigado por tudo, fica com Deus. Valeu!